So I don't have a lot of phone battery left, so I might only do a little bit of recording of, maybe I'll get the hubs. I'll get these cleaned up before I record because they're grease, old grease in there, still some rust. But we have this box here full of premium Chinesium, individually wrapped for your pleasure. Trailer bearings, seals, and new center caps and cotter pins. You know, good old Jungle website special stuff there, because the original stuff was rotten. And the bearings that came out of these, I think, were like an extreme duty or heavy duty bearing. I don't plan on towing vehicles with these dollies all the time, because again, this is not a commercial operation. I just want these to be good enough to do what I need it to do. Primarily is going to be for the big move to the new property. So I'm just going to pack these full of moly graphite grease. I believe the seal surfaces on these spindles are pretty, it's this right here is where the seal rides. They're pretty rough. I'm going to have to spend some time cleaning those up. So I'll probably do a couple video chunks here to, hopefully my phone doesn't die. And I'll just pack some bearings and get one hub done, and then I'll bring you guys back when I'm putting the hubs on the axle assemblies for the wheel dollies there. And then we got, I splurged and I bought new wheels and tires. These are holding air, and I think they'd probably get the job done, but they're pretty, well, I got one. This is like an original tire. I've seen pictures of these dollies when they're new, and this is the tires that they came with. Yeah, it definitely looks like these are from that one looks like it's from the 50s. And then the rest of these are they're pretty dry rotted. They're old. Two of them have tubes, two of them are tubeless. They are all holding air, but I think I'm going to use those for a little trailer project for the property to tow behind my, I have a Cub Cadet Big Country. It's kind of like a John Deere Gator, a 6x6 one. So I think I'm going to get like a John Deere Gator bed, build a frame, get some axle stubs, and then build like my own little tandem floating axle assembly to put under it, so it's kind of all off-roadable, kind of for the at least farm use stuff, not like off-road trailer like the ones they sell for ATVs. But these are brand new. As you can see, there's stuff, there's paint or something that's on them, so they were discounted, but they are brand spanking new, same size wheel. These are 570 by 8. They're rated for 910 pounds at 75 psi, and these were rated for like 745 at 90 psi when they were new. They're definitely not rated for that now, but these are 480 by 8, so they're a little bit shorter. I don't know if we can really see it on the camera here. Yeah, I think overall they're like an inch taller, so ½ inch of lift, which will help with clearance for the when these are all put together with the bars. I have the bars out here, and I'm going to try to get these put together and put the bars on them today. I have brand new pens for them as well right here to pin the bars on, because they have pins that drop through the bars when they're sleeved over this here. So, and then I have to I'm going to build some plates and then put chunks of angle iron between them to make the cradles for the vehicle tires to sit in. So I'll try to get all that together into this video, and that way you guys can see what the, I guess, remanufactured dollies will look like. But we'll bring you back in a little bit for that stuff. Okay, so I didn't record. I cleaned up my spindle nuts, and then got these cleaned out. New bearing races installed in these guys, so just a lot of beating on the things. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys packing the wheel bearings. I've done this before on the Omni, the Dodge Omni, the rear brakes on that. So good old grease, wheel bearing grease packing. So nothing too exciting here, but figured I'd show you guys some of this process of getting these Dolly hubs put back together. So I don't know if we can really see it, but you see the grease is coming out in between the inner race and the cage, in between the rollers. That's what we want. This is just messy. Little time consuming, but very messy. Something that's nice to put the gloves on for. That way you're not getting this all over your hands. These are pretty small bearings, so they don't take a lot. So, got that one done. Get all this extra grease off of here. And we'll set her down there. So I got 8 of these bearings to get done here. So okay, so you saw me pack a couple bearings with grease. They're all done now, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put one in each hub on the back side of the hub. Stick those in there. And then we've got new wheel seals to get open. Yeah, kind of hard to do with the greasy hand. I guess I'll just jump this glove. I was going to keep it on so I could handle the other bearings and not get grease all over my hands, but it might be easier just to get a little bit of grease on there. So that is going to go in there. So we're going to go ahead and stick these in there like that, and then we'll move over to the welding table because it's a hard surface. This is not hard enough to take me beating on these. And we'll go ahead and we'll get these driven in real quick. And then I just have to clean up the axles for reinstallation of the hubs. So we got ourselves a hub and a bearing. We're going to go over here. Try not to hit the camera on anything and shake it really bad. Here we go. Okay. Got my bearing, race, and seal driver. Got a larger one that'll cover this seal, and we'll get it try to get it the seal flat so we don't mangle it. And this is just nice because then we can just do this and it'll be done. That's probably loud, but so pop them in until they're flush, just like that. So I'm gonna grab another one. So I'll grab 2 of them. And we'll do the same thing. You can hear when they're all the way in because the sound changes, it gets louder, kind of. Just a really super solid thud. Getting grease on my table. Okay, and I'll grab the other one and we'll have all 4 of them ready to go. Last one. Okay, so new inner bearing, or we got new races, new inner bearings, and seals. So I can put the bearing race and seal driver set away. And then I'll go back over here to my makeshift workbench. And we'll go ahead and get, let's see, we'll get one of the axles up here. Let's see which one's not as bad. We'll go with this one. This one will be quicker to clean up. So I already kind of cleaned it. I just need to clean the rust there on the seal surface. So I'll get a nice piece of worn out emery cloth and just give her a good sanding. I don't expect these seals to really do their job of keeping all the water out. Mostly just dirt, you know, large chunks of rock. Maybe some dust, probably not. Like I said, these dollies, I'm not a commercial tow business, so these aren't going to be in service every day, all the time, dragging cars around. This is mostly going to get used for the move, and then past that, they're just going to be on the truck, or looks. I might even try to figure out some sort of cover, like all-weather cover to put over these dollies when they're not in use, or I might just take them off the truck and store them inside of a shed or somewhere undercover out of the rain and stuff. Anyways, so when I'm not using them, because like I said, I got brand new tires, so I don't want those just sitting out in the sunlight getting all sun rotted. So they're brand new, so these are pretty pitted. So I'll bring you guys in here in a second so you can see how pitted. Basically just trying to make this smooth enough that it won't just immediately eat the new seal and completely ruin it. That's really bad on the bottom here. So these definitely need to be repaired, but they'll do the job. They'll do the job. Like I said, we're gonna keep these dollies put away somewhere other than just on the back of the truck. So you can see all the pitting in here. So what that's gonna do is not allow a good seal for like water intrusion. Now this is on the bottom side of the spindle. So the handle here's the top. The top side of the seal surface is not good either, but it's not as bad. Anyways, we're gonna pretend we didn't see any of that. We're just gonna, oh, look at that, good as new. I mean, you can see the rust pitting on these shafts, but from what I can tell, these are early to mid 50s era Holmes dollies. So I know they're Holmes dollies. I don't know for sure what year they are, but they are definitely from the 50s era. I know that much from pictures that I found on the internet. So we're going to go ahead and put one of these hubs on so you can see that, and then I'll just go ahead and finish this up quickly because I gotta get done here and get home. Got some stuff to do there. So we already got grease in there, grease in that bearing. We're gonna put some grease in the inside here just to help give it some extra lubrication if the hubs get warm. That way this grease, it'll liquefy and help lubricate the bearings. Don't need a ton in there, just a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and pre-lubricate the seal. That seal actually fits pretty snug on there, so hopefully it'll actually kind of do its job, even though it's pitted. We'll grab one of these bearings with my greasy finger, because that one's already greasy, and then slide her on in there. These are really nice and firm now. Okay. Grease all over everything. We got one on the washers. And let's see, I forgot I need a wire wheel. These nuts, this one's pretty clean, so we'll throw this one on here. And we want to get these snug, but not too snug, because we don't want the bearings too tight. I know usually the good practice is to tighten them down pretty tight while turning it to make sure that the bearings and stuff get squished in really good. The grease gets squished out of it. That way you're quote unquote fully seating the fully seating it. Man, these really snug, nice and tight. I can't remember, I think it was this socket, yeah. So I'm sure somebody somewhere has a torque specification for 1-inch trailer spindles, but we're just gonna send it because we're not that fancy. I'm sure somebody somewhere is screaming at me, I'm doing this wrong, or that's why I shouldn't have a tow truck, because I'm not doing things right, and this is dangerous because I'm not doing these right, or whatever. I don't really care. You see me on the road, stay away from me. That's simple. That's the way I see it. So so we're completely loose at the moment. We're gonna want to be just snug. Let's see if I can get this. The grease is just really thick. It's just not wanting to, it's not like free spinning super well with the new grease and everything. We don't want them too tight where they're going to burn up. So I think we're going to go right there. We're just backed off a snug. These have holes going in 2 different spots here, so you can really set your preload on your bearings here. You got a little bit more options for your cotter pin. I'm trying to figure out how. We don't want them too tight. We want them to be able to kind of float in there a little bit. If they're too tight, they'll get hot and they'll liquefy all the grease off the bearings, and the bearings will burn up, and then this thing could just snap off, and then it'll be done for. So I'm trying to feel for, I'm turning it back 1 notch at a time and turning it here to see if I can get some play in it. Okay, so there's some play. So I want to go back one. We'll go back to this one. We'll tighten it a little more. Okay, so I'm going to go with that one right there. That way, hopefully these fit. Oh yes, they are the right size. So it's just a little bit snug from being able to have some slop in the hub there. This will be a good adjustment with these being brand new bearings because they're going to seat in a little bit more as they get used. I'm using my hammer. Then, so that's done. So we'll get this cap on it. Mount here. And there we have it. So we got one refurbished hub on this axle assembly. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the others here, and then I'll bring you guys back when I get the tires on them on the ground. Okay, got my budget tires all cleaned up. They had like sticky silver paint on them, like oil-based paint. I don't know what it was, but I got it cleaned off. That's partially why they were cheaper. Somebody didn't want to take the time. There's still some on the tread. I'm not going to clean it off of that because that'll just go away. We drag them down the road. Now my foot's stuck. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mount these up here. Actually, I got to spray some paint on here. Hold on. Let's get this. I don't want to get paint on those, so let's be talented here. Forgot I needed to touch these up. I should have done that before I was cleaning those so they'd be dry, but this stuff dries pretty quick. Guess it don't matter if I get some paint on those dust caps. A little bit of paint ain't gonna hurt them. Just trying to get these where they're gonna not get all rusty again as quickly. It's inevitable that they're gonna rust. At least give them a chance, right? Okay, set this one over here. Grab this other one, touch it up real quick. Okay. Grab the lug nuts. Move this one out of the way. This one's already pretty much dry. Dry enough. Okay, so it'll be tricky. Oh, this needs paint here too. Alright. Oh, let's put some grease on these. Some people don't agree with the grease on the wheel studs, but these are have some good rust pitting on part of them, so we don't want the rust to come back and seize them up as easily, so we'll just do this to help that from happening, hopefully. Could have put some new wheel studs on them, but I've already gone a little bit overboard with rebuilding these, so. And the part that's rusty is more just the very tip here, where the lug nuts were sticking out of the threads were sticking out of the lug nuts. So I've actually had enough other lug nuts to get rid of all the really rusty ones. I only have a couple here that are a little bit on the rusty side, but most of them are only slightly used. So another tire. And these are close to those handles. These look good. With a little bit bigger tire gives it just enough more beef look, at least beefy looking. Hopefully they don't have problems with the tires deflecting. If I do, I guess I'll have to cut those handles off and do something different for, maybe I'll just cut them. If that's a problem, I'll cut them off and weld them to the top side. But okay. So these are brand new wheels, so they haven't been crunched before. So we'll figure out how to hold these and actually put a torque on those so they're even. But yeah, so we got one set of dollies here. Ugh, massive. Okay. Grab this other one here. Do the same thing. Okay. Lug nuts. The rear electric tank. Put a little grease on the studs and let's kill off that can of grease. One and two. Oh, that one's really close. Well, that one don't want to go on. I might have to work on a few more things here, but this wheel stud might need to work on this one. Oh, there it goes. Just didn't like that one lug nut. These are, like I said, they're really rusty on the ends because the hubcaps, the baby moons, being on here forever, and then there was no grease or anything on them, so they just kind of, the moisture just collected right there on the ends of them and really ate them up, unfortunately. But this one's really close. I might have to cut those handles off. Yep. Darn. Yeah, we have a interference. Here, I'll show you guys. Get my phone out of this holder here. Yeah, right there. That's the problem. So, I guess this will be a quitting point for today, but anyways, we got this one put together, but I'm gonna have to take these back off because I want them to match. So I'll cut the welds and I'll get these handles on top. But that's what they look like all finished. And then of course those bars go on there and these sit up right, and put the tire of the vehicle right here in between those bars and put a strap around it, a lasso strap, and then hook it to that handle and crank her down. So anyways, I'll have more update video later once I get these, maybe I'll get these finished up tomorrow, get that cut off, weld those back on in a different spot. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take these tires back off, and then I'm gonna call it quits for this video, and we'll have a video of it later. I don't know if we'll get these tomorrow or later, but also got to finish a couple things on the truck. So just another long day in the shop getting little tedious projects done. So we'll talk to you guys later.